Hi guys, welcome to the KP classes. My name is Vinay Uniyal, and in today's live session we are going to discuss about the previous year questions of JEE Mains 2021 Bachelor of Architecture. This is the section of drawing and sketching, and we'll discuss about the questions in which the technical drawing skills are required, right? So I would like to tell you first of all one thing, that this exam JEE is conducted by National Testing Agency, right? And the drawing section, because you probably know about the mathematical and other topics, but the drawing part, which is a little bit tricky, so you just need to understand the practical part, the technical part of drawing. I'll be teaching you some techniques as well, but in this specific class, we'll discuss about some questions of 2021 examination, right? So this is the first question about drawing, question number 81. In this question, there are two options given. The first question is saying, draw a proportionate sketch of given reference image with black and white rendering techniques of your choice. Picture should fit in given space for this answer, right? This is the question, and the picture is given in the right hand side. You can see this image. It's not a very clear image, but you are supposed to draw very clear, and you have different options available, but in general we use dry media. So I would suggest you to use either your normal pencils, or if you have charcoal pencil, that is also fine, because it is specifically they are asking you to use black and white rendering, which is possible by using normal pencils as well as the charcoal pencils, right? And the second question, you are supposed to do one question out of these two. So the second question, they asking you that create a wall magic for a metro station using triangles of any size and overall panel size of your choice. The theme of magic is environment. Use colors to make the mosaic attractive and meaningful, right? So you just need to do these two questions, right? So let's discuss about these two questions, and I would like to show you this picture as well in a little bit bigger size. So this is the picture, and you're supposed to make this picture with right proportion as well as the proper shade and shadow. Everything should be there. So I would answer this question in a very less time, because you don't have a lot of time to do experiments. We'll do this question in a very less time, as well as we'll move to the second question as well. And this is actually the question of human anatomy. So you should know how to make some human action figures, right? So you just have one paper, any paper of your choice. Like if you have normal A4 size sheet, that's good, no issues, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm using my normal, you can use your HB pencil. If you have 2B pencil, that is also accepted, no issues at all, right? So I have this paper now. If it is allowed, if it is mentioned in your admit card that you are allowed to use scales and other geometrical instrument, that is fine. Otherwise, like I'm making a line by using my ruler. If it is not allowed to use a ruler, you can use another pencil to make a line, a very straight line, right? So we have two options available always. Now, coming to this question, I'm going to make that human anatomical figure. You don't have to make very big. It's like they are going to provide you a space, and you are supposed to use that same space to make these kind of human figures. So I'm going to use this line, and I'll be making first of all my human anatomical figure in a right proportions. So this is the part of human anatomy. You will come to know this thing as well when you will be learning with us. We'll teach all the things about human and animal anatomy. So this is what I did. I made a circle and connected by using two curved lines, right? Now, in the next step, what I'm going to do here, I would like to make a triangle, and I would like to tell you one more thing, that when we make a female body, the lower angle of this triangle should be approximate 30 degree or 25-degree, just to make the right body or the torso for this female we are making, right? Now, we'll make one more circle, and here as well. one circle here, and one circle here. So this is called graphical method to make a human figure. We use this graphical method for a lot of things, not only for human, but for also for animals, for non-living things, for domestic articles, for something related to still life, interior exteriors as well. So we have different type of graphs available, so we use that. Now, if you want to, you can use your mechanical pencil as well. It's your choice. In generally, when we do sketching, we need wooden pencils. When we are drawing something, we are making just line drawing, then I would suggest you to use your mechanical pencil, point 0.7 or maybe the point 0.9 mm, whatever you prefer. Okay. Sir, you can speak in English. Actually, this class, all the students are from different parts of the country. So I would suggest the international language and the language everybody can understand would be fine. Was Nitin Kumar. Okay. Okay. Fine. Video is not clear, sir. It is not clear, but still I'm making some lines. You can see these lines clearly. Can't you? Okay, so let me explain this thing again. Who joined recently this live session? I would like to tell you that this first question, I would like to show you question one more time so that you can understand what I'm going to explain here. So this is the question which came in JEE paper 2, question number 81, which is the question of drawing and sketching section, right? So this is the question of 50 marks, and there are two options given. You are supposed to do one out of these two, right? Whatever you prefer. So I'm going to explain these two questions, the first and the second one, right? So the question is, draw a proportionate sketch of given reference image with black and white rendering techniques of your choice. Picture should fit in given space for this answer, right? So I would like to explain the question first of all. This is actually a distorted picture, the one they gave here in the right hand side. You are supposed to make in a right human anatomical figure as well as the proper sketching with black and white rendering, which means you are supposed to use different type of pencils. And if you don't have pencil, you can use charcoal pencils as well, but they want you to use dry media. You are not supposed to use some watercolors or some poster colors, right? So this is the question, the first question we are discussing here. And in the answer sheet, I would like to tell you that I drawn a vertical line. We have two options. If you are allowed to use this roll and draw scale, you can do that, no issues at all. If they don't want you to use any kind of geometrical instrument, so I would suggest you to use your pencil to make a vertical as well as the horizontal lines, and you can draw some diagonal lines as well. That's not a problem. Okay, you have to work very, the smart work is always important. It's more important than the hard work. So what I did, as we all know that how to make a circle, you don't have to make very perfect circle, just normal freehand circle, and try to make some kind of graph, the one you see here, right? Um, right. Once you are done with this, because the picture is already given there, you just need to see the, if you know the graphical method properly, because here at KP classes, we teach all type of human anatomy as well as the animal anatomy, and this human anatomy is actually divided into 12 different sections. So this is one of the question in which the human figure is action figure. It's not a still figure, it is called action figure because that figure, that female, is dancing, right? So this is what I'm doing. I have drawn the circle. I have drawn one, two, three, four circles and one triangle and two curved lines in the upper section, right? Now what I'm going to do here, I would like to make a few ovals as well. We make oval shapes also, which is like not the normal oval, but something like long oval. It's part of 2D, and there are different ways to do the same question. Some people prefer to use stick figures. Some people prefer to use the 2D method. I prefer 2D because it is not that much time taking and you'll be able to make quite good pictures when it's about like some living things like humans or maybe the animals, right? And this is the part of human anatomy, and it is not the thing that you will learn in one day. We are solving this question. You just need to see this. To learn human anatomy, at least you need 1 month to understand this, how to do the sketching, the action figures, the connecting figures, the individual action figures. There are a lot of things to understand, right? The technical part of it, which is actually going to be very important for your examination. And I would like to tell you one more thing. This question, the picture is already given, but in generally, what happens when you are given any question, like for example, they want you to make a kind of a visiting card, for example, for a bakery, right? So if 20 people are attempting that specific question, so there will be 20 different answers for the same question. You cannot compare this drawing and sketching part with the English or maybe the mathematics, because in mathematics we have one answer for one question. That is the fixed thing. But in drawing and design part, we have multiple answers for the same question, right? You have to understand this part as well. Okay. So this is actually the figure I have drawn. It's called 2D image, or the 2D figure of the human I'm making. And that too I have taken this angle in this triangle. This is near to 25 to 30 degree, which means I'm making a female figure, right? Okay. Now, one more thing I would like to introduce to all of you. When you're doing something related to sketching, this kneadable eraser plays a very important role. You can make your sketch a little bit lighter. This is actually a zero dust eraser. You heard about non-dust eraser. It's actually not non-dust, but this one is actually zero dust eraser. It's going to be very, very useful for you to sketch something, whatever you're making, some natural articles, some human-made articles in which the sketching is required. This eraser is going to help you a lot. It's especially for your exam purposes. Okay. Apart from this, we have a retractable eraser, which is important to erase the smaller sections of your artwork, right? So you can use this also. It is allowed. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add the outfit in this picture. So let's do this section. I would like to show you that picture one more time. Give me a moment. This is a picture which is not correct, and we are going to make in a right proportion. This is actually up and down stretched. So you have to make it in a right proportion. Okay. Now see this, what I'm going to do here. I'm making the outfit. I am not going to make body and after that outfit. This graph is going to help me to draw the body, and you don't have to give a lot of details. You just need to make sure that the proportion should be perfect. What you're making for that. The motive of this question is to make sure that you know the right proportion of human figures, and you know how to make the action figures, right? They don't want you to add a lot of details in this picture. You just need to add basic details, but the proportion should be perfect, whatever you are making. something like this. Rest of the picture you already have with you. You just need to understand this human anatomical part, which I'll be discussing in a different class from the scratch. Okay. So this is the right proportion. What I did to get the right proportion, I have drawn the human structure in 2D, and after that adding the outfit. Rest of the things you have the image, you can add all the things in the right proportion. Okay. So let me add a little bit more things, and meanwhile if I'm making it a little bit darker, I'll be using this eraser to make it lighter. Okay, so let's get to this hand starting from the side. Let me do this. Let me a little bit turn this. I'm making this upper section of this female structure. I hope you can understand all the things I'm explaining in this live session, and you'll be able to draw all the things. Okay, once you're done with the right proportion, you'll be able to draw almost all the things in this picture because you already have the reference picture available. So I would move to the next question because we have limited time and we are supposed to discuss 4 questions in today's session. Okay, fine. Okay, so I'm going to discuss the next question that was given in this JEE Mains 2021 examination. The second question is asking you to create a wall magic for a metro station using triangles of any size and overall panel size of your choice. The theme of magic is environment. Use colors to make the mosaic attractive and meaningful. This is the question, right? So what is the question about? You are supposed to design uh, something to put on the wall in a metro station that should be related to environment. The aesthetics should be related to environment, as well as the basic shape is already given, that is the triangle. So you're supposed to use triangles to make that. So, and also you're supposed to do coloring. Coloring is totally different thing. We can discuss that thing in a different class. In sketch coming in NATA, it came due to this COVID duration. They asked questions related to NATA, the question related to drawing and sketching in NATA. Like for example, I'm going to give you an example. They probably give you a picture of any interior exterior, and they will ask you to identify the vanishing points. Maybe they will ask some technical terms or some rules related to 1 point perspective or maybe the 2 point perspective. So if you know the practical drawing techniques, you know the practical part of the drawing section, you will be able to attempt all the questions, whether they are asking you in a practical manner or maybe the theoretical manner. So it's very important for you to understand what the sketching part. There are a lot of things to learn in this sketching. Like right now, the question I'm going to discuss, this is the question of 3 things, the 3 major things in this question. Let me show you this question one more time. I'm going to explain this question in very simple language. In this question, they are asking you to make a wall design, which is they are going to put inside a metro station or maybe the outside of the metro station, should be related to environment, as well as it should have colors and what they have given, the triangles. So you have to pick the keywords. Okay, and this question is actually the combination of three different techniques, the major techniques. So I would like to tell you first of all what techniques. The first technique has doodle art, doodle. Second has color, and the third thing, it has triangles, environment, and colors. The third technique, we have doodle, that is correct. We have color over here, and element of art, that too 2D. You have to make it in 2D. So we have three things which are important for you to understand to attempt this question. So I'm going to do this. We have a lot of different answers available for this. So whatever is related to environment, you can use your scale and pencil and draw, and after that you can color. You can select the right color related to environment, which are the cool colors. Cool colors are the different shades and tints of blue and green. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you can, it is up to you. You can show the negative as well as the positive aspects of this word environment. I would suggest you to do this for positive way. So I'm going to take my space, and most probably they will provide you a specific space to do these kind of questions, right? So this is, I have my space here, and I want to use triangles to make this composition, right? Making it very light. Circle, the section of a circle, it is called a curved line in sketching. Okay, uh, this is my design, so I can draw anything whatever I want to, but I'll make sure three keywords, the triangle, environment, and I will be using colors. So how to convert this, let me just do this and you'll understand this thing. I'm making a very abstract design. You can make a kind of designs related to fantasy world, that will work well. And I'm going to use my circle to make the triangles. You are supposed to make very random triangles. You don't have to measure angles or something like that. Make sure all these should be triangles only. I can teach you all the techniques, right? But how to use these techniques in an innovative way, that is up to you. Like, how do you think? How do you see the world? What is your perspective towards world and the things? That is your choice. See this, I am going to add a lot of triangles in this composition, and this is something related to, it's a making, the design is making a connection between the space and our planet Earth, right? This is my concept. And now let's talk about the coloring section. which is actually very much important not only for NATA aspirants or the architecture aspirants, but also for other design related examination. This coloring, and especially the pencil coloring part, is very important for you to understand. So you can select any two colors of your choice. I'm going to select here two cool colors, right? Or maybe three cool colors. It's your choice. You are supposed to sharp your pencil colors. It should be very much pointed so that you can apply in a very rhythmic manner. And there are specific techniques. I'll be teaching you that in a different class. Let's get back to the question. I'm going to erase this part, but not 100%. I'm going to reduce the intensity of the pencil I applied. And once you are done with this, apply your pencil color. So we have various techniques to apply pencil colors. One of them, which is very much important for you to understand, that is called blending, right? But it's not like that. Blending is you're going to apply all the time. Some people use hatching, cross hatching, feathering, stippling. There are a number of techniques available. So if I want, I can do that also. I'll be using this green color, and you can use in combination as well. This is called blending. What is the meaning of blending? Let me explain you now, like in a very short term. Blending is a technique in which we move our pencil color either in clockwise or counterclockwise direction. Also, you can use similar colors to each other. Like it is called rhythmic blending. Like you probably have seen some. I'm gonna give you an example. You saw the mango. Mango is not only has one color. It has a combination of different yellow shades and tints, as well as sometimes you see the red and green also, which is blended to each other. And there are a lot of things available like that. So that is blending. Whenever you want to show some smooth surface and you wanting to achieve the hyperrealism, you probably have seen some videos on the internet that some people are making some very hyperrealistic portraits. So there are two things very much important to achieve that hyperrealism. The first thing is the material you're using should be good quality, and there are different type of pencil colors available in the market, as well as you should know in a practical manner how to apply these specific techniques. Sometimes one technique is sufficient to make one article. Sometimes we are supposed to use three to four techniques to make one thing, right? So I'll be teaching you this thing as well. So I'm after completing the screen, I'm gonna apply this blue color, which is actually a good indicator of calm. These kind of words you can achieve by using these the shades and the tints of blue and green. Calm, happiness, polite, all the positive words, and negative words, the red and yellow are there. And I'm going to use this purple as well, but not going to apply very heavy pressure. And this is just one of the example I'm giving you here. You guys can do in 100 different ways the same question. Just need to understand in drawing and painting or sketching section, and the design part, you cannot memorize things. You just need to learn the techniques, as well as you have to put your perspective in that piece of artwork. And the most important thing, practice. Fine. In the same manner, you can fill all these three colors in the entire composition as per your choice. If you have combination of different three colors, make sure to use the cool colors for now, at least. Okay, fine. So you understood the concept behind this question. Now I would like to show you one more question. Give me a moment. This question is also important. Now coming to the question, the next question, that is question number 82. And in this question, the first part is given: consider yourself a fish in the aquarium that is in a room, and a girl is standing near the aquarium and playing with the fish. Create the view of the room according the eye of fish. So this is actually a little bit tricky question because it has a lot of different sections of the drawing. Let me explain this question first of all to all of you to understand how to do these kind of questions. First of all, the very important thing in this question is uh, view and eye of fish, which means this is actually the part of perspective, and not the easy perspective. This is the part of multi-point perspective, the fish eye view. Like most of the time, 99% you guys, all the people, they observe things from human eye level, right? Sometimes you probably have seen in some of the Hollywood animated movies, like some character whose size has been reduced to 1 centimeter. You probably have seen some animated series, like the most relatable. Did you see the series Doraemon? Sometimes the main character, the size of main character has been reduced to 1 centimeter. So how he sees the world, that thing you can understand when you will be learning this multi-point perspective question. Like perspective is also divided into different sections: 1 point perspective, 2 point perspective, 3 point perspective, and the multi-point perspective, right? And they are asking the question of multi-point perspective. Okay. uh, Next, girl, which means human anatomy, right? Aquarium, you don't have to show the aquarium, you don't have to show the fish. If you're making a fish eye view, you don't have to show the fish. In general condition, I'll be teaching you different things as well. If you're making lizard's eye view, you don't have to make the lizard is looking at some room or some places, so you have to make from lizard's perspective. In this question, we have to make everything from fish eye perspective, right? Now what else, right? So it has the very difficult thing for now for you to understand, that is multi-point perspective and the human anatomy, which is also you do not know much about it, right? And let's get to the next question. So this is the question asking you: create picture with fishes, either one or more than that. A girl, a boat, farmers, tractors, trees, plants. A lot of techniques you should know for this. For plants and trees, you should know the graphical method to draw them. Tractor is the part of automobile design, which is also important, and it is multi-point perspective. If you want to make with 100% perfection, then you should know how to use multi-point perspective, right? Farmers, the human anatomy. Boat is also, you should know how to use multi-point perspective, or maybe at least 2 point perspective to make a boat. And girl, which is human anatomy. Fish, animal anatomy part. So it has a one, two, three, uh, four, uh, four techniques. It has, this question has: first is animal anatomy, next we have human anatomy, and what else we have? We have automobile, and we have vegetation. So we consider this as graphical method. Graphical. So these four techniques are important for you to do this question. This is a little bit difficult for you to understand because I have to explain all these techniques individually first of all. After that, you'll be able to practically understand these techniques, and you will be able to combine them together in order to create something like this, the thing they are asking. But this question as well. So I believe in today's class we'll discuss about this first section of the question, because completely I'll be teaching you this fisheye view, which is actually a little bit tricky perspective. Fine. So I'm going to discuss this question to you, right? So what I'm going to do here, see this first of all. Uh, Pay attention to attempt this question related to fish eye view, we have two options available. If you're allowed to use your compass, you just need to make a circle first of all. If you're not, then you have to draw a circle by using freehand technique, right? So I'm making one, something like this. Try to make it, because it's very difficult to make a circle without using any compass or something like that. That is why we need a lot of practice for that. Once you are done with this, make a vertical line, divide this circle into two sections, right? Now uh, let me just turn this paper. I'm going to make one more line. I believe you know the difference between vertical and horizontal lines and diagonal lines and curved lines. So this is actually my graph to attempt that question number 3, question number actually 82, the first section of question number 82, but still see the graph. What I did, I'm going to explain this technique to all of you first of all, otherwise you will not be able to understand how to attempt this question, right? So what I did, I'm using first of all, you even can write down, if you have a notebook you can write down. I'm going to explain some terms over here. So the first thing, we are doing this question in multi-point perspective. Okay, this is make a star here, it's very important. Now, second question that comes in your mind, that what does it mean by multi-point perspective, how to use it, and why to learn this. So let me explain you some things like for architecture, any other examination, if you're going to make something very outstanding, you should know all the perspectives, not only perspective but all the techniques. There are number of techniques that you can learn, and you can draw things like a pro, like a professional artist. You can achieve that hyperrealism as well, right? So whenever you're learning, learn from the beginning, learn everything. Don't get shortcuts to do these things, right? So I'm going to explain something first of all about multi-point perspective. Okay, so what is perspective? First of all, perspective is a technical technique, or you can say perspective is a very logical technique to draw something which is man-made as well as which is nature's made. Anything whatever you see, you can draw that thing by using perspective, as well as anything whatever you can identify. If you know the difference between a pencil, I have a pencil here, and I'm going to take one more thing. What else can I take? The scale. If visually you can differentiate between them, that this is a scale and this is a pencil, in the same manner you can differentiate between a shoe and a cell phone. So you can draw, if you can imagine all the things whatever you can imagine in your mind, you can draw by using this technique called perspective, which is very interesting as well as it's very fun technique to learn, and you'll be able to draw almost everything. Now this is the thing. Now the first section of perspective is one point perspective. It is very easy. Why we call this one point perspective? Because we have to use mandatory single point to make anything in 3D, right? Next thing is called two-point perspective, in which we are using 2 points to make one 3D image, and it's mandatory. You cannot skip any point. Now coming to the 3-point perspective, in which we have to use compulsory 3 points to make a perspective, right? In 1 point perspective, you can draw all the interiors, exteriors, as well as the human-made products. We prefer this perspective to draw them. And for 2-point perspective, we can do the same thing. We can draw all the like furniture, home appliances, we can draw in 2-point perspective, as well as all the interior and exterior spaces, right? In 3-point perspective, we draw some specific type of perspectives. Like you probably have heard about this question, that imagine that your size is 1 centimeter, or imagine that you are an ant. Look at inside a pizza box or maybe a pencil box, draw what you see. Or maybe you're a worm, you are located on the floor or maybe on the road or ground somewhere else, draw what you see. Or the question will be, you are a bird, imagine that you're a bird, and draw what you see. You are flying over a city, draw what you see. This may be the question. So these kind of question we can draw with 100% perfection if we know the 3 point perspective, right? Now coming to the main part, that is multi-point perspective. In multi-point perspective, what do we do? In multi-point perspective, we draw some fantasy art. You probably have seen some video game backgrounds. People use perspective to make them. Whatever software they are using, this perspective is very much important. So in multi-point perspective, we can draw some fish eye view. We can draw hilltop and hill down view as well, and we can draw some automobile designs. If you want to become a product designer, for example, so this multi-point perspective is going to be very useful for you, because by using unlimited points, I can say, like this question, the one I'm going to do now, this is will be using at least 5 points. We can use more than that, but at least five are mandatory to use. Then only you'll be able to draw something in multi-point perspective. Okay, so multi-point perspective, the name of this questions technique. Now it has 5 points, right? Next, mm, foreshortening technique, which is like it's not mandatory, it's an additional thing. If you don't want to add the foreshortening, in which like the size of a palm and the human head is similar, I'll be explaining this in a practical manner, then only you'll be able to understand this thing, right? And what else? Fine. Now coming to the rule part. But if I'm going to explain this rule of this multi-point perspective, it will be very difficult for you to understand this thing, because you do not know even ABC of this perspective. Still, starting the first part, what I did first of all, I drawn a circle. I drawn a circle. After that, I made a vertical line and a horizontal line, right? Now what I'm going to do here, I am going to mark my points. In the upper section, I'm making a point. In the lower section, I'm making one more point. This point, the upper point is known as vanishing point number 1. The lower point is known as vanishing point number 2. Now going to do the same thing here in the right and the left hand side section. On this horizontal line, I'm making two vanishing points. This is we call vanishing point number 3, and this is vanishing point number 4. And in the mid section, this is called vanishing point A. A is an apple, right? So this is the graph I have. I'm making all the things very, very dark, but you don't have to, because I am going to explain you here. So I want to make sure that you see all the things clearly. Okay. Now, they asked, let me read this question again one more time. Consider yourself a fish in the aquarium that is in a room. So the first keyword is room, right? And a girl is standing near the aquarium. So the girl is second keyword. You have to show the girl and playing with the fish. You cannot see yourself. Create the view of room according to the eye of fish, or the fish eye view. Now, first of all, what I'm going to do, whenever we make something, we make first of all the backgrounds, after that the foregrounds. Like in this picture, in this question, I'll be making first of all the room. After that, I'll be making the human character. Now what I'm going to do here, see this very carefully. Like you skipping all 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective, and the question is about multi-point perspective. I am going to make a line which is not with this line, the one I'm going to make for the main picture, it is not going to be the straight line. It is not going to be the vertical line, nor the horizontal line and the diagonal line. No, I'm going to make a curve line. If you know about curve line is a line. It's a like when we make circle. So if you cut that circle into three or random section, the one line is the curve line, making a curve, not a straight line. So see this, what I'm going to do here. My line is very light for now, coming out of the vanishing point 1 and ending at the vanishing point 2, right? We can do this question by using compass with 100% perfection, but if you're going to, like, you're very new and maybe it's not allowed for you to use compass, so I would suggest you to develop your freehand skills to attempt these kind of questions. Now going to make one more line which is actually coming out of the vanishing point 1 and ending to the vanishing point 2, right? Now going to do the same thing here, a line which is coming out of the vanishing point 3 and ending towards the vanishing point 4, and the lower section as well I'm going to do the same thing. So I do not need all these lines, these, that's why you have to make all the lines very light. Now that's why I use this eraser, it's very useful. Do not erase all the lines completely, otherwise you will not be able to understand what is happening here on the paper. Now what I'm going to do here, the required line, the section of line I need, I'll make sure that it will be highlighted, making it a little bit darker. Again, one more line, a curved line. Let me just turn my paper. I'm going to turn the paper. Again, one line. Fine. So this is the required section. This is what I need. The mid section by, this is constructed by using 1, 2, 3, 4 curve lines, right? Now we have different type of curve lines. How will you differentiate between them, right? So let me draw this thing first of all. After that, I'll be explaining or I'll be giving you a rule for this. If you know the rule, you will never make any mistake. I assure you, if you join KP classes, you will be able to, within 1 month, you will be able to draw a lot of things like all the interior exteriors. If you're standing or sitting in front of some building, you'll be able to draw that building with 100% perfection, because there are techniques available. Once you understood all the techniques, you'll be able to replicate all the things, whatever you see or whatever you imagine, right? So this is my space. Now one thing you have to understand, all the lines will start, one line is going to start from vanishing point 1, is always going to end at vanishing point 2. Rule number 1. Line which is going to start from vanishing point 3 always going to end at vanishing point 4. Rule number 2. Now all the lines which are starting from the vanishing point A should be, must be straight lines like this, and will not move out of this circle. This is the limit, the border. This is called vanishing point A line, the one I have drawn, the straight line. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. I am going to make one more line. If you don't want to use scale, that is also fine. You can use any pencil or some straight structure object. In the upper section also, it will be a little bit difficult for you to relate this as how fish is going to see the room like this. So I would like to explain this thing as well. Have you ever seen a backside of a brand new spoon? You see all the lines, all the objects or interior exterior, you see all the curve lines are there. Have you ever noticed the that orange convex mirror on the roadside? It has also the same property to show the curves, right? In a logical manner, you, as you guys know, the difference between different refractive indexes of different mediums, like we have different refractive index for air, for water, and the glass. So that is why the combination of all these different refractive indexes, the fish is able to see the room something like this, right? You can, the easy example is the backside of a spoon. You can relate this, okay? Now, fine. This is the room. Now I'm not going to make it very difficult for you. You just need to understand the practical part of it. In different classes, I'll be explaining this multi-point perspective with all the details, and everything will be there. Don't worry. This is a line starting with vanishing point 2 ending at vanishing point 1, but I need only this section of the line. I don't want entire line. Same thing here, vanishing point 3 and the 4. I'm going to make a window as well over here. So the upper line of window and the door should be same always. Okay, so this is my, I want to make a door which is open, so I'll be using this vanishing point A, this line, again one more line, and the curve, which is, this curve is made of VP1 VP2, right? Now I'm supposed to make a girl here with a shortening. Okay, for shortening technique I'm using here, which will look a little bit bigger to the fish. Fine, simple question, simple answer. Let me make it a little bit lighter, and I'm going to make the line drawing of this girl. Let me draw the kind of animated sort of hand over here. Something like this. We'll be adding details later, but the most important part of this question is to understand this perspective, the one I'm making. And once you are done, you can erase the extra lines. You can add a lot of other things as well inside the room, whatever you have. Like, we can make a table, we can make a chair and other things as well. I want to make a table over here. I'll be using a VPA line, VP3 and VP4 line. this also. I want to make a door over here, so I'll be using this and VP A line and VP1 VP2 line. So this is one of the door I added here. Fine. And we can add details in this picture as well. We have a lot of options available to do these kind of questions, right? This is, I've given you just one example. Fine. You can add other things as well. If you're wanting to add a painting over here on this wall, you can do that. And what else can we add? A chair, maybe 1.2 and one line. Okay, fine. So fine, we have taken this question, and this last question we have, because it has total different four techniques. So I can draw this question, but it will be a little bit difficult for you to understand because you do not know more about this animal anatomy, human anatomy, automobile design, and the graphical illustrations. So this question will be discussing in a different class. Before that, I would suggest you to learn the techniques, right? After that, you can do this question. Fine. So this is the end of this live class. Thank you so much for watching this live session, and bye bye. We'll see you in the next class.